Also in this room are two historic paintings on both sides that you can see in that rendering by a painter named M.C. Wyeth. If you go to the next slide. This is showing a sample of the guest rooms, the guest room rendering. So again, the banking theme is carried in here, and you can kind of see that in the picture lights on the wall and some of the finishes. So we're replacing a lot of the darker beigey colors that were there previously with something a little more contemporary, but keeping that classical feeling of, of a past era. If you go to the next slide. So this is listing some of the community improvements. I'll just kind of list off a few of them. So we feel like we're enhancing the adjacent area by highlighting the existing characteristics of the building by removing some of the things that were added later on, such as those canvas awnings, and replacing them with something a little more substantial and complementary. We're adding that new lighting to help emphasize the architectural details at night. In addition to just aesthetic things, we're making, we have more accessible accommodations, such as those new ramps, and throughout the public areas, we've got accessible accommodations as well as in the guest rooms themselves. This project's created about 150 construction jobs. We're also helping to activate Pearl Street by providing the direct connection to those terraces, which is across from the park. And the project is making contributions to the Blue Bikes program. There's sidewalk repairs and transit planning initiatives that we're making contributions to, and the total is around $230,000. And with that, I think that might be the last slide. Could you go one more? Okay, yeah, I think it's just more or less. Yeah, we just, I think that kind of wraps up the presentation. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Questions or comments from the board?
I don't want to prolong our meeting unnecessarily, but the Langham and actually the Federal Reserve Bank building prior to that always had accessibility issues. The main entrance couldn't be accessed with a wheelchair or a rollerboard for that matter. And if you're spending $97 million to improve the place, could you just elaborate a little bit more about what you're doing to make that building accessible?
Ramps. Sure. So I think the point you just made, we're at the entrances, we're adding the new ramp that will allow someone in a wheelchair needing accessible accommodations to get through from Pearl Street into that entrance. The main entrance is at grade level, so there's no ramp needed. In the interior, each room has a separate, they have accommodations for people in wheelchairs, such as tables at particular heights and things like that. And throughout, you have your accessible path of egress throughout the building. And then within guest rooms, throughout the range of different room types, there's accessible guest rooms, which have, the required clearances and grab bars and things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Any additional questions or comments?
I have a quick question. I think the thing is beautiful, but very quick. Has the general contractor been selected yet?
Yes, it is Shawmut.
Okay, good choice.
Okay, any further questions or comments? Okay, hearing and seeing none, a motion is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call for a vote. Ms. Downs?
Aye.
Mr. Monahan?
Aye.
Dr. Landsmark?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion passes. Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 36, request authorization to approve a minor modification to the Kittredge Square Urban Renewal Plan, project number Mass R-167, to create parcels R-1A-13, R-1A-14, 34B, 3-GC, and A-1, and to set forth their allowed land uses. and to authorize 23 Highland Street, 21 Morley Street, and 25A Linwood in the Kittredge Square Urban Renewal Area, project number Mass R-167, to be disposed of pursuant to the Abutter Parcels Program. Morgan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We are requesting board approval to include a group of 3 parcels in the Abutter Parcels Program, which sells small, unbuildable BPDA-owned vacant parcels to adjacent property owners as deed-restricted open space. 3 parcels, 25A Linwood Street, 23 Highland Street, and 21 Morley Street, abut residential homes in the Highland Park neighborhood of Roxbury and are located in the Kittredge Square Urban Renewal Area. On November 18th, 2020, BPDA staff hosted a virtual community meeting attended by about 40 neighborhood members. The immediate abutters and the surrounding neighbors expressed the desire for the parcels to be available for abutters to purchase as open space. Shortly after board approval, staff will make applications available to all direct abutters for 60 days. Staff will return to the board to obtain approval to convey individual parcels to the selected abutters. Additionally, we are requesting approval of a minor modification to the Kittredge Square Urban Renewal Plan to facilitate their disposition. The minor modification will create the urban renewal parcels and clarify their land use as open space. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Morgan. Any questions from the board? Hearing and seeing none, a motion is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call for a vote. Ms. Downs?
Aye.
Mr. Monahan?
Aye.
Dr. Landsmark?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we already did 38 and 39. Moving on to 40. Request.
No, Madam Chair,
Do.
number
Oh.
37.
Okay. Jumping the gun. 37, request authorization to adopt a minor modification of the urban renewal plan of the Washington Park Urban Renewal Area, project number Mass R-24, with respect to a portion of parcel I-2, so-called I-2A, to enter into a fourth amendment of the land disposition agreement with OFR DEV LLC to issue a certification of approval pursuant to Article 80E, small project review of the zoning code for the construction of 40 affordable home ownership units, 41 parking spaces, and 40 bicycle storage spaces located at 25 Fountain Streat, to recommend approval to the Board of Appeal for zoning relief, subject to BPDA design review, and to take all related actions. Ebony. Ebony? Or do we have somebody? There you go. Oh, Ebony, why can't I hear you? And
I couldn't hear either.
yeah, I see you talking and you're off mute. I can't hear you.
Volume.
No, I can see you're not, the mute button's not there. I just can't hear you. Maybe you gotta turn up your volume.
Volume, maybe?
No. Ebony, can you try again?
Yeah, now you're on mute. Okay. Can you say something? No. Weird.
Hold on, I think John Greeley has her presentation.
Okay.
Ebony, can you try and call in or see if, while we see?
Maybe we could skip this item and come back to it in a moment. I'll work with Ebony to coordinate our tech issues.
Okay, we don't have much left, so,
Totally understand.
but we can do that.
Yeah, okay. Okay, we'll go back to 40 then. Request authorization to disperse $100,000 from the Harvard Alston Partnership Fund to 11 nonprofit community organizations and to enter into grant agreements with said organizations. Gerald.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Secretary Police, Director Golden. I've been before you a number of times before. This is an annual grant fund, $100,000 from Harvard University, going to nonprofits that serve the North Allston, North Brighton community. Many of these, in fact, most this year, are organizations that have received support in the past and continue to do good work in service of the people of that neighborhood. I'm available to answer any questions, of course.
Do we have any further questions from the board? Okay, hearing and seeing none, a motion is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call for a vote. Ms. Downs?
Aye.
Mr. Monahan?
Aye.
Dr. Landsberg?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, motion passes. Let's go ahead and do another quick one. Item number 41, request authorization to disperse up to $253,988 from the Harvard Allston Public Realm Flexible Fund to 4 nonprofit community organizations and to enter into grant agreements with said organizations. Sure.
Good evening again. This is another grant fund that was part of Harvard Community Benefits Package, specifically directed at public realm improvements. And we've had a lot of luck with a wide variety of projects and organizations. And so we have another round this year to build on the previous success. Some of them are up to because we are still working with those organizations to determine the exact scope and cost of their projects that would be worked out with them and detailed in the grant agreements that we sign with those organizations. And let me know if you have any questions, please.
Fabulous. Any questions from the board? Hearing and seeing none, a motion is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call for a vote. Ms. Downs?
Aye.
Mr. Monahan?
Aye.
Dr. Landsmark?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, motion passes. Are we ready for 37 or do you want me to do 42 and 43? I'll do 42. Request authorizations to disperse $78,724 from the BioSquare 2 Physical and Community Improvements Fund to Project Place for the beautification of the Massachusetts Avenue and Melnia Cass area and to enter into a grant agreement with said organization. Brian.
Sorry, Madam Chair, this is Sonal Gandhi, and I'll be presenting this item for Brian tonight. As you mentioned, we are requesting authorization to enter into a grant agreement with Project Place for cleanup of sidewalk and grassy areas in excess of 62,000 square feet in the Melnia Cass area. We've been before you at the board with this request from BioSquare 2, and we do believe that it has significant good impact in that area for cleanup, and we're looking forward to your positive vote tonight.
Great. Any questions from the board? Hearing and seeing none, a motion is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call for a vote. Ms. Downs?
Aye.
Mr. Monahan?
Aye.
Dr. Landsmark?
Aye.
Miller?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, motion passes. Let's just go ahead and do 43. Request authorization to disperse $60,000 from the 457 through 469A West Broadway Project Community Benefits Fund to 9 community organizations and to enter into grant agreements with said organizations. Sonal, that you're going to do that one too?
Great. Yes, thank you. As you mentioned, this is a request to enter into grant agreements with 9 organizations in South Boston. And we had 24 organizations that applied. And at this point, we're funding 9 organizations for a total of $60,000. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Hearing and seeing none, a motion is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call for a vote. Ms. Downs?
Aye.
Mr. Monahan?
Aye.
Dr. Landsmark?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, motion passes. Secretary Polhemus, we ready for 37?
I believe we are. She has dialed in.
Fabulous. Do I read it again or are we just going to go? Do I have to read it again?
No, you don't need to read it again.
I'm going to go back to 37. I already read it. Ebony.
Ebony, you need to dial *4 on your phone if you've dialed in.
Jonathan,
John?
you're in the dark there.
Apologies, Director Golden, Secretary Paul Hamas, and the members of the board. I'm actually in the BPDA's conference room 937. The lights have gone out in this wing of City Hall, so I am in the dark, but I assure you I am here. The project before you is 25 Fountain Street in Roxbury. The proposal is to create a four-story approximately 40,780,000 square foot building that will contain 40 affordable home ownership units, 41 off-street parking spaces, and 40 bicycle parking spaces. The proponent will be seeking funding from D&D and Mass Housing. The small project review application was filed with the BPDA on September 6, 2019. Public meetings were held on September 26, 2019, and October 7, 2020. The public comment period closed on October 31st, 2019. At this time, I will turn over to the development team to go over their presentation in more detail, after which we'd be happy to take any questions that you may have. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Madam Chair, member of the board, Secretary Paul Hamas. I feel comfortable in saying that they're guessing that this is the final project of 2020 that you're going to be hearing. Is the presentation available? Okay, fantastic. My name is Kevin McGuire, and I'm the founder of Oxbow Urban and the managing member of OFR Dev LLC. And our passion is affordable ownership. And we have been working in the past with the Department of Neighborhood Development to help realize ownership in the city of Boston. And the opportunity at 25 Fountain Street was unique in that it's the last remaining piece, not the last remaining piece, but a remaining piece of the Washington Square Urban Renewal Plan. And it provided a fantastic opportunity to, try and offer ownership for Roxbury at a time when, it's obviously quite important. Next slide, please. I will say that joining me on the call is Laura Homich from PCA Architects. I'm going to run through the presentation, and if there are specific design questions, I'll let Laura jump in. 25 Fountain is located in the Tommy's Rock neighborhood of Roxbury, so it is just outside of the Nubian Square planning area. But again, really, it's an 8-minute walk to the Nubian Square MBTA stop. So very much a part of all the activity that's going on, much of which we heard about tonight. Next slide. Again, here just for an orientation, uniquely enough, that 25 Fountain is located between Washington Street and between Warren Street, essentially across the street from the iconic circular townhouses from the Stubbins plan at Warren Gardens. It actually is one of the highest points in this particular part of the neighborhood. It provides a fantastic ownership opportunity. In some ways, it reminds me of Langdon Court in that it's will be a great resource for the community, but it's actually located within the neighborhood as opposed to being on Washington Street or Warren Street. It's a wonderful setting on Fountain. Next slide. So you can see the context. Top right is looking from Circuit Street up Fountain. The site is on the left. Again, on the right is Warren Gardens. Bottom right, similar view. Bottom left is a fantastic photograph. That is our site, and that's essentially what's been remaining for about 50 years of the site that has not yet been developed. And top left shows you the scale of the adjacent buildings. This is a view from Regent Street looking south towards the site, which is on the right just past Washington Heights, which is the brick building. Next slide. So again, you know, within the context of both Nubian's plan, Nubian, and on the right-hand side, we pulled up what was one of the very early conceptual Washington Square urban renewal plans. And interestingly enough, this particular site was originally conceived to be the location of where they were going to put the school. You know, literally the city on the hill. Obviously, things changed, but it represents, as I said, a unique opportunity to finish the vision. Next slide. So this is the site plan on the left. It's a roughly 36,000 square foot parcel, which fronts both on Fountain Street and on Regent Street. The topography, as you can see from the remaining stair, is what's really unique or unique and challenging at this particular site. The bottom right section shows that essentially the difference in grade from the interior of the site to the street is about a floor. And so people will enter in off Fountain Street and then, you know, through elevator or stairs, go up to the second level. And then we have 4 levels of ownership housing. We do have 21 spaces that are below grade, and I'm sorry, 20 spaces and then 21 outdoor spaces as shown in the left-hand plan. And the elevation you can see really worked quite diligently with the neighbors, Tommy Rock Neighborhood Association, as well as the BPDA, trying to come up with something of scale and yet something that fits into a pretty eclectic neighborhood that's made up of a lot of different buildings. Next slide. Again, the request we have is support the zoning board with a number of different zoning variances. Worked with, obviously with Ebony and John Dalzell on sustainability. So we will certainly be, the goal is LEED Gold certifiable. We will be solar PV ready. We'd love to try and find a community partner who would be the ultimate owner of a photovoltaic system. In that we won't be the long-term owner and it will actually be affordable residents. The PV is a fantastic opportunity to, minimize common area costs and ultimately condominium fees over time. Finding a responsible entity that could own that on their behalf is one of our goals. So the project was conceived to provide opportunities for really young professionals. Obviously, so many people are being priced out of Boston, and we had worked on a number of family housing developments. In the particular mix for this building is we have 16 studio units, 16 one-bedroom units, 4 two-bedroom units and 2 three-bedroom units. So we're heavily skewed towards the smaller units. And again, that's really, probably not for children, less of a children orientation and more of, empty nester or young professional that just, can't find a place, we'd like to think of this as the 21st century starter home. The opportunity where you can own and stay central to the city and, to continue to evolve your study, career, profession, whatever it may be. Next slide. An aerial within context. Again, in the left slide, to the left, Warren Gardens. To the right, those are the townhouses of Fountain Square. And Fountain Square Condominium Association was actually the land seller from which we purchased. So Fountain Square was developed in coordination with BPDA back in the late 80s. This particular parcel did not get developed and became common area to the association. When the association had it on the market, they were quite interested in finding someone that would build ownership as opposed to rental, which was quite characteristic of the neighborhood. And so we ended up coming to an agreement with Fountain Square. It's a nice example of a 30-year-old development, which is an ownership development, an affordable ownership development, a 30-year-old development being able to be recapitalized through the sale of some excess land, and then our ability to build a next generation ownership building. Again, the right slide shows perspective, streetscape, and you can get a little bit of sense of the topography. Next slide. Again, so excited about the location, the work that we've done in some of the other neighborhoods, kind of our marketing strategy. My development staff is essentially 2 women of color, very passionate about providing ownership. And so, we really believe that we can provide a great product really for the residents of Roxbury. I'm a 15-year South End resident. And again, the passion is to some extent cracking the code on affordable ownership. And again, live, work, connect. To be in this location with everything that's planned and happening, it's an exciting project. Next slide. So, our tagline is own the next phase of your future, which we're excited to provide with the board's assistance and approval. I believe that's it. 40 affordable housing units. So all 40 of the units will be deed restricted. Again, the Department of Neighborhood Development is putting in a significant amount of money, as is Mass Housing. 50 construction jobs, 40 bike storage per the requirements, 1-to-1 of BPDA, 8-minute walk to Nubian Square, 6-minute walk to Malcolm X Park, 5-minute walk to the grocery store that will be in Bartlett Station. Obviously meeting the new energy code of HERS 55. Again, hopefully a project that everyone can be proud of. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Do we have any questions from the board? Okay, hearing and seeing none, a motion is in order.
Great project, and so moved.
Second.
Roll call for a vote. Ms. Downs?
Aye.
Mr. Monahan?
Aye.
Mr. Landsmark?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion passes. Congratulations. Great project. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and I appreciate your endurance.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's fine. It's December.
I hope this is the last one, literally, and you can enjoy some vacation time. So, again, very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Happy holidays.
You too. And thank you.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah. Try and find some light.
I'm gonna go back to the dark now.
Yeah, Jonathan looks great. Listen, I'm telling you, it's the last project of 2020, right? You got Jonathan in the dark. We've got Ebony. We can't quite tie her in. And
So.
I do want to thank Ebony for her work on this project. This did take a lot of coordination behind the scenes, so thanks to Ebony for her work on this. Have a great holiday, everybody. Take care.
All right. Yeah. Yes. Thanks so much, Ebony. Technical difficulties, it happens to all of us. So item number 44, personnel. David?
Heather Campesano, thank you. Madam Chair, members of the board. We have 2 items for your consideration on the BRA agenda. One status change with details in the board memo from Michael Sinatra, project manager, and one departure with details in the board memo, for Robert Luisi, Controller.
Okay. Great. Any questions from the board? Hearing and seeing none, a motion is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call for a vote. Ms. Downs?
Aye.
Monahan?
Aye.
Dr. Landsmark?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Heather. Number 45, contractual. I need a motion to pay our bills.
I move we pay our bills.
Second.
Okay. Roll call for a vote.
Aye.
Ms. Downs? Yes, aye. Mr. Monahan?
Aye.
Dr. Landsmark?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion passes. Please pay the bills. And finally, director's update. Take us home, Director Golden. Well, we're already home, but you know what I mean.
Yep, you got it.
Not all of us are home, Priscilla.
But there's approximately 3 people here at Boston City Hall holding down the fort.
Just make sure John doesn't get left in that conference room.
I'm gonna go knock before I go and rummage around since there are no lights. But thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to the members. I'd like to first start on some personnel matters which were just referenced. I wanna commend and congratulate 2 members of our staff, longtime members of our staff, who have decided to retire. First, Bob Luisi. You see Bob there, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about Leroy Jones right beside Bob. But Bob Luisi has served as this agency's Deputy Director of Administration and Finance and Controller of the agency, and he's been a key player in the organizational reform that has been occurring here for years now. I've had the good fortune of working almost immediately upon my arrival 12 years ago. I started working closely with Bob. Again, that was 12 years ago, and in my 7 years as director, from all that experience, I know the following things to be true. Our management systems have improved because of Bob Luisi's efforts. The agency's annual audits are always strong because of Bob's efforts. Our real estate deals have improved drastically as Bob collaborates with our real estate division to produce really rock solid business deals for our property that provide the revenue by which we operate. Bob's chased down millions of dollars of sums owed in arrears to the agency. He's refinanced debt under more favorable terms. He's built a solid benefits package for all of our employees. And Bob has maintained a disciplined approach to our financial and fiscal well-being that has allowed us to weather tough times, including throughout this current very difficult year. Bob rolls up his sleeves and manages the granular detail of everyday life here to ensure that the resources we need are there for us, that they're preserved, and that they're deployed prudently. This is why the organization can perform its mission. This is why we can all play a role in creating one of the great cities of the world and address the needs of all Boston's people. You may know, or may not know, early in his career, Bob spent some years in the Marine Corps, and the Marine Corps' motto is Semper Fidelis. It means always faithful. Faithful, committed, dedicated to important things beyond one's own immediate self-interest. And that's Bob Luisi's life. He's dedicated to his family, he's dedicated to his country and this city and the work of this agency. I've always appreciated that Bob is so consistently focused on the future of the organization. Often it's so easy for any one of us to deal with just the problems of the day. The day has enough problems of its own to consume all of us. But Bob consistently urged us to focus on the long-term resources, personnel, investments in our aging property through capital plans, structural reform, policy reform. Bob wasn't ever content to just get through the day. He wanted to set the BPDA and the city up for a better future. So here we are in a really tough economy, still in the midst of a terrible pandemic. This agency remains in solid shape. And we're all grateful for your role, Bob Luisi, in helping to create this reality. I wish you a long, happy, healthy retirement with your wife, Annette, your children, and your 5 grandchildren. On behalf of all of us here, all your friends and colleagues at this agency, good luck, Bob, and thank you. Leroy Jones has been with us for 24 years of service at the agency. Leroy handles a lot of the logistics in this place, the little things, the little nuts and bolts things that are absolutely necessary for the organization to function. And we know Leroy as the helpful hand around the office. He's always there to ensure that we have the supplies that we need, that our office lights are in good working order, that water dispensers are full for staff and for the visiting public who attend so many meetings here, and that our mail is delivered. These are all really basic things, but the whole world grinds to a screeching halt if there's not someone there tending to them every day. My enduring image of Leroy is every day dragging his ladder office to office, corridor to corridor to fix lights, to replace light bulbs. In this office, in this conference room I'm sitting in, I just counted, there are 24 light bulbs just in this one spot. There's got to be thousands in this building and many, many hundreds on this floor, if not in the thousands. But Leroy tended to these little but all important things every day so that we could get our work done. He did this for over 2 decades, and the way he did it was lovely. He was a smiling face. He was kind. He was a real gentleman. I never saw him say anything negative. I never saw him exude a negative vibe. He was a good man. He is a good man. He's not going to be here with us coming into the new year as a colleague. But he's a good man, and we really valued his presence. He was always in the know on the latest movies. He loved to talk about current events as he went about his daily tasks. He'll be missed dearly by all of us. And for those of us who are lucky enough to hear it once in a while in the warm weather, Leroy would be on the external deck on the 9th floor playing one of his instruments. I believe Leroy could play 5 instruments. And he would be out there by himself on warm summer evenings or afternoons playing. That was a treat. So for now, until we can have a whole bunch of our colleagues back in for a proper goodbye when it is safe to do so, hopefully in 2021, I just want to thank Leroy Jones and wish him happy holidays and a long, healthy retirement. Thank you, Leroy. And finally, as a result of the votes you've taken tonight, you've approved more square footage this calendar year than has been approved in any of the past 7 years. Kind of a remarkable number, given what we just went through in this city, in this state, in this nation, in the middle of a terrible economy, in the middle of a challenging and horrific pandemic. We somehow have figured out resiliency in the virtual remote world and done a lot of planning and Article 80 development review processes with our neighbors through technology. And we've gotten those projects vetted with the people we serve off to the board for ultimate approval. It's just remarkable, those numbers in a time like this. And the numbers mean something really important as we look toward hopefully a really strong recovery from all of this in the next year. These numbers are preparing a better future for the people of Boston. It's construction jobs, it's permanent jobs, it's housing, particularly affordable housing, it's cultural space, it's open space, it's funding for job training for vulnerable populations, and that funding flows from development. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the remarkable outcome, the resilience, the determination to prepare Boston for a better future beyond COVID. Thank you to the board members. Thank you to the staff of this organization who's worked so hard under trying circumstances this calendar year. And thank you to the people we serve for collaborating with us out in the neighborhoods. I wish you all very happy holidays and good health in the new year. And I look forward to seeing you after the holidays. But I hope they're enjoyable and happy ones for all of you. Thanks so much. Good night.
All right. Thank you, Director Golden. And on behalf of the board, thank you from the bottom of our hearts, Bob and Leroy, the impact and the mark that you've made on individuals in our organization is just, it's incredible and very, very special. So enjoy your retirement. And with that, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I move we adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Okay, roll call for a vote. Ms. Downs?
Aye.
Mr. Monahan?
Aye.
Dr. Landsmark?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you so much. Stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll see you next year.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.